This is Vedic Astrology once again coming to you with a Tarot and Patra reading. I'm dealing with the period October 25th to November 8, 2021. Join me today for a brighter day with Vedic Astrology to guide you over the sea of life. As always, I ask you to visit zeraminastrology.com. I ask you to share, sign up, subscribe. You'll find your tarot spreads, your patra readings, your runes, your crystals and chakras in your reports. Join me and enjoy this journey. For those who have seen my videos before, this will not be new to you, but for the new subscribers and viewers, this is just a division of the sky into the signs, which is the rasis, nakshatras, stars, and the padas. It's a 2D view, really, of how we in Vedic astrology look at the sky, pinpoint your padas, your nakshatras, where your grahas are posited, and analyze your report or your kundali. The Rashi is really the zodiac sign made up of 12 signs, starting with Aries and ending with Pisces, which is Mesha, ending with Meena. And then those 12 signs are divided into nakshatras, 27 nakshatras, where our karma is stored and the fruits of our karma are given life as planets are posited there. And then we have each nakshatra divided into padas, 4 padas for each nakshatra, so that you will find, if you look at it, you'll see 9 padas are equated with 1 nakshatra. So that this is what we look at in Vedic astrology, and based on a person's moon nakshatra at the time of birth, Jyotish Vedic astrology offers a more powerful and predictive technique compared to other forms of astrology. In this period's transit of grahas, we see Mars, Ascendant, and Sun still together. They have moved from Virgo into Libra. Mars is still combust because Mars is at 3 degrees Libra while Sun is at 9 degrees. The Ascendant and Sun are actually sitting on each other, as we see here, because they are both 9 degrees Libra. But the difference here this week from Virgo to Libra is that Mars is getting a little more energy because Sun is debilitated in Libra. Sun is weak in Libra, so that the rays and the illumination that he is combusting Mars with may not be as terrible or as deep as it was last week. So Mars has some kind of action and he's no longer lethargic or lazy. And the good thing about that is that Mars is throwing his 4th aspect on Jupiter and Saturn in Capricorn. And Jupiter is his friend and he really is neutral with Saturn. But Capricorn is also the sign where Mars is exalted, so that Mars is going to give a little bit of energy to Jupiter in terms of his expansion in guru teaching, in lectures, in education, in children, in luck, you know. Although Jupiter is weak in Capricorn, Mars is going to give him that little push, because Mars is not so weak beginning October 25th as Sun is debilitated. And then we have Ketu and Venus still here in Scorpio, the sign of secrets and occult and you know, in-laws and transformation, the natural 8th house of the Kala Purush. So that there's still a little bit of chaos here in terms of, you know, your wants and your needs and what you wish to do with your life, in terms of pleasures, in terms of, you know, having a relaxing time. Ketu may just want to keep you a little bit isolated still and, you know, keep you home rather than sending you out. Jupiter also has a 5th aspect on Rahu. And wow, this is going to be a little mental agility, a mental chaos happening here, because remember, Rahu is the planet or the shadow graha of illusion. He's the great deceiver, and Jupiter might want to change that illusion, but Jupiter is not so very powerful here. But Jupiter, with his fifth aspect, will still try to give clarity and reality to the illusion that Rahu wants to send to us. So these are the things that are happening here for the week beginning October 25th. We also see that Jupiter is the Atmakaraka. And what do we know about the Atmakaraka? The Atmakaraka is the planet that gives us our soul desire. So our soul desire might be probably to give advice to people, or to have somebody teach or a focus on our children this week, because that is what Jupiter is all about. Probably our father also, in terms of, you know, spending some time with our father, because Venus and Ketu there is telling us, you know, stay home a little bit, don't be in crowds, be isolated a little bit. So that might be the lesson here in terms of the Atmakaraka, what our soul desires for this week. But the Amatya Karaka is Venus. And you know, this is what I was saying in that, remember, the soul's desire is completed through the Amatya Karaka, and this week Venus is the Amatya Karaka, so that you may want to, you know, teach your children or your not even siblings, your father, about, you know, the pleasures in life, take them on a little trip. But Venus and Ketu here is telling you, you know, stay home, be isolated. Secrets might come out, you know, that there might be a transformation with you in isolation, that you can think about things. The illusion here with Rahu is not very powerful this week, because Jupiter has that fifth aspect on him, so we'll bring some reason and intelligence to Rahu this week. So this is how we start off the period of October 25th to November 8th, and as we move along we will see what again the cards and the nakshatras and the alignment of the grahas tell us. And we come once again to the selection of the tarot spread for this week, and well, not week really, a period, October 25th to November 8th. And I would start off here with the Chakra Wisdom card, and let us see what wisdom is going to come to us, or what is our destiny or fate for this week and this period. And at the end of the day, you know, we always bring to ourselves feelings and emotions about what we should and shouldn't do, and this is just a way of guiding us and telling us, you know, this is the pathway. And what do we have here? We have destiny. Destiny is the Chakra Wisdom for this week. And isn't that interesting? Let us see what is the planet now. What is the planet that we are going to focus on for this week? We have just gone through the transit of the grahas. We have just gone through indicating that Saturn and Jupiter are now direct. They are no longer retrograde. Also Pluto is no longer retrograde. Rahu and Ketu is continuously retrograde. So that is, you know, a feature of the Vedic astrology. But what is the planet that we are going to focus on? Saturn. We are going to focus on Saturn, and Saturn is in his own home in Capricorn, sitting there with Jupiter, and Saturn is in Shravana, the star of listening or the learning air, and it's a nakshatra ruled by Lord Vishnu. The deity is Lord Vishnu. What is the element? Earth, Prithvi. Earth, and Saturn is, wow, interesting. But this is interesting. Capricorn is a Prithvi or an Earth planet, and let us see how that is going to play out. So it's double whammy for Saturn, actually, you know, with the Earth element. And what is the house that we are going to look at this period? And that bhava is the third bhava. Bhava of courage, bhava of sibling, bhava of communication. Very interesting for this period. So what do we want to communicate about? What do we need to have courage about? Is it courage of our convictions, or courage of stability, courage of a foundation, courage of moving with the transformation that is going to happen. What is the courage that we need? Since, you know, the planets have really shifted a little bit, we have a little energy this week. Mars is combust, but he is being combust through a debilitated sun, so that, you know, the energy might be a little more as we just went through this week. But the deity for this week is Garuda, who is the vehicle of Lord Vishnu. So it's all about maintenance and stability and taking care, getting a balance, as it were. You know, we don't want to destroy, we don't want to create, we want to maintain. So that is the vehicle that we are traveling in, and it's the vehicle of the deity, not really the deity. So we are the vehicle. So where do we want to carry Lord Vishnu? Do we want to carry him in our hearts? Do we want to carry him in our homes? Where do we want to carry Lord Vishnu? Or where is Lord Vishnu directing us to go? Since he is the Lord and Master of Garuda, you know, so all of these things are coming to play, and we will see where that goes, because Saturn was the card that was pulled there, and oh, this card just is jumping out at me, and it is the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune has just jumped out there, so, you know, I just put those aside to deal with it, and we continue with the shuffling of the pack. But as I was saying, and other cards have fallen out again too, and this card is, my goodness, High Priestess. The High Priestess. So the High Priestess and the Wheel of Fortune jumped out there, so we'll figure out what is that all about, what is that message coming there. And I'm going to use the Celtic Cross today, and the first card we pull there is Chariot. So that's you, the Chariot. The next card is the Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands. The next card is the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords. Then we have the Empress. The Empress. Following that, we have Justice. Justice. Six of Cups. Six of Cups. My goodness. The World. So we have a lot of outside interference or things this period. That is the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles. Then we have the Nine of Swords as the penultimate card, and the final card is the King of Swords. The King of Swords. So we have Empress, Justice, Chariot, World. So quite a few cards dealing with control that we don't have, outside influences. So let us take a deeper look into this and understand what is happening with the selection spread. Okay, and here we have Destiny, Saturn, and Earth as the first three cards that I'm going to take a deeper look at. And Destiny, you can see from the picture, you know, two persons kneeling in front of two older persons, and we usually associate white and black with good and bad, or you know, blessings and evil. And here they are conversing. The persons, or the children as it were, are on their knees in front of the elders conversing. So what decision are they going to make? What decision are they going to come to? Is it that they are going to continue with the creation of the illusion by Rahu, or is Jupiter going to win, the guru? Is the teachings and lessons from Jupiter going to come up on top? And this Destiny card tells us that this is all about free will. It is not fate. Fate is something you can't change. Destiny is something you can. You can't change it because your free will gives you those choices to make. So what is your decision? Where are you going to put your foot? When you look up at the elders here, holding hands and praying for you, or crossing their arms and telling you, hey, make that decision. Where are you going to go? What are you going to do? Where are you going to create a balance? Make that decision. This is what destiny is telling you. Saturn also tells you that, you know, it brings you maturity to the issue, because Saturn is an old planet. Saturn deals with the old people, the elderly, the sick, the laborers, the masses in our society, you know. And there are limits imposed when you get older, you know. You are not as sprightly, you don't have the action that you usually take. You deliberate more, you know. You are more realistic about your surroundings. So that is what Saturn will bring. He imposes limits and tells you, take caution regarding your decisions and the steps that you want to make. So, and Saturn is right now in his own home in Capricorn, in a very grounded zodiac sign, which is earth, and the element that we pulled was earth. So earth is there, and once you nourish earth, things will grow. Once you water the earth, you know, plants will grow, flowers will bloom. So what do we need to nourish? What do we need to nurture? And Jupiter was in Capricorn, and Jupiter had that fifth aspect on Rahu. And Jupiter, remember, is children, and children here is being shown in destiny. So is it that we have to nurture our children, or you know, caution our children, or impose limits on our children, as we being the older one and the parent? You know, what do we have to be concerned about with our children for this period? And that might be the focus here, with the cards telling us more, you know, that we need to probably provide a stable foundation for our children to take that step. Venus is there with Ketu in the sign of Scorpio, where secrets and transformations are going to happen. You know, Venus and Ketu are there also being isolated, because Ketu is all about that. And I always say it, been there, done that. You know, so probably the focus here this period is on our children, and how we are going to create that bubble for them to move forward, how we are going to create that stable environment for them, what is the advice we are giving them, you know, what are the limits we are imposing on them for them to grow into good citizens. Let us move on. And these are the cards for the deities again, for the first pulling of this tarot selection. And here we have the third house, Garuda, who is the carrier of Vishnu, Wheel of Fortune, and High Priestess. And let us take a closer look at these cards. And I've just pulled up my analysis of the third bhava in Capricorn, because we are dealing with the third bhava, and we are also dealing with Saturn, the card that we just analyzed for this period. And Capricorn is all about use, you know, practical and prudent, ambitious and disciplined, patient and careful, humorous and reserved. And Capricorn is a cardinal sign. It's an earth sign. It's a substance house, and it's angular, you know. And the tarot card that we're dealing with in Capricorn is the devil, but we have pulled also the High Priestess and the Wheel of Fortune. And Jupiter in Capricorn is all about respectfulness, you know, all about being respectful to your elders. Saturn is about contempt for others. So that, why would you have contempt for others? Is it that you feel you know it all? Is it that Rahu is giving you that illusion? So how are we going to deal with that? And the nakshatras that we have in the third house is the Uttara Ashada nakshatra, the universal star. Shravana, in Shravana we have the star of learning, which is the learning, or the star of the learning air, and the Nishta is the star of symphony. So these are the three nakshatras, Uttara, Ashada, Shravana, the Nishta, with their synonymous owners and deities. And at the end of the day, you know, we have to get our ideas going, but it has to be on a stable foundation. What ideas do you want, and who and what is around you? And remember, we have 4 cards that have outside influences on us this period, which is the Empress, Justice, Chariot, and World. And at the end of the day, we have to get our ideas going, but it's going to be slow, because Capricorn is slow. The earth is packed and it is slow, it is not fast moving. So the third house is all about making the right connections. So what connections are we going to make? Saturn doesn't have any aspect on planets this period, but Mars, remember, is aspecting both Saturn and Jupiter from Libra as a fourth aspect. So is that the action, is that the push we need to get our ideas going? Is Mars going to give us that push, even though he is combust? But as I indicated before, remember, Sun is also debilitated, so his energies are not going to be very powerful on the combustion for Mars. So that this is the third house, this is the bhava that we are looking at. And is Capricorn your third bhava? Which zodiac sign is your third bhava? To find out, you need to request your report and understand these analysis for your particular kundali. Garuda is the carrier of Vishnu and is the deity that we are looking at for this week. And Garuda is all about protection on your trips while you're traveling. And we just analyzed the third bhava, and the third bhava is all about short trips or journey. So, if you want to take that little trip or that little pleasure sightseeing with your family, with your children, with your father, then Garuda is saying, at the end of the day, through your prayers and your spiritual resonance and his guidance, you can be protected while traveling. You may have that protection for this period on your travels. So Garuda is also there to bring you closer to the spiritual being, to bring you closer to your devotion to God, because he's the vehicle, and he might be the vehicle to take you to Vishnu or take you away from Vishnu based on your destiny, your free will, and your choices. The Wheel of Fortune here is the extra card, or one of the extra cards that just jumped out of the deck, and it's a card that is associated with Jupiter, and Jupiter is in Capricorn. Capricorn is owned by Saturn, so we see the connections, and here we have Aquarius, we have Scorpio, we have Leo and Taurus, where all of the elements are recognized here. But the Wheel of Fortune is something that can go either way. It can be good or it can be bad. In the tarot card that was drawn as the Wheel of Fortune, there is the monkey blindfolded sitting on the Wheel of Fortune. He doesn't care how it turns because he's at the top. But you would be affected by your choices. How are you going to turn this Wheel of Fortune? And Taurus is the fixed earth sign, which is to the bottom right of this wheel. So is it that you are going to turn it that way to stability, or is it that you are going to turn it to Leo, the fiery sign, where action is taken without thought? Which are you going to do? Scorpio is there already. Scorpio is there where Ketu and Venus is, and Scorpio is sitting at the top right. So that Scorpio is there at your back, pushing you with transformation, pushing you with secrets. So the Wheel of Fortune comes down to you and what you are going to do, and how you are going to deal with issues. Are you going to take the advice of the gurus? And as a side here, Venus sitting in Scorpio is also sitting in the Jyeshta nakshatra, which is the star of the elders, chief elder, as it were. So that there is that connection now with Jyeshta and Jupiter, being the guru, the teacher, the messenger, that or the teacher of the devas, teacher of the gods. So this is what the Wheel of Fortune is. It's all about choices, and it can go any which way. It can be positive or it can be negative based on how you spin it. The High Priestess here as another energy card, since it jumped out at the beginning of the selection, tells us that there are secrets, there's a duality of balance, there's some veil that we are sitting behind or in front of that is hiding things from us. But we have that balance, we have the intuitive emotions and the divine law on our side. Earth is there sitting at our feet. We have dominion over our mind, which is the moon at our feet. We have dominion over fertility, over severity. We have dominion over the duality of balance, because it is our duty to have that mental faculty to guide persons. Even though secrets are held, we are holding the Torah, or the book of knowledge in our hands, and we have that knowledge, and we will share it, but we just need the right pathway. We need to be considerate of those around us, and we need to make that wheel of fortune turn in our favor. So that first we have to deal with the wheel of fortune. How are we going to deal with destiny? Are we going to take the advice? Do we have the courage from the third house? The carrier of Vishnu is there to help us. So are we going to listen to the messages from God and Bhagwan this period and do what we have to do? These are the energies that are surrounding the tarot spread and the transit of grahas for this period. Right, so these are the cards that represent you, challenges or conflicts, and the root cause of your issue. So Chariot is all about you, your present situation. The conflicts and challenges will come from the Nine of Wands, and the root cause of your issues for this period, as described by the cards, is the Four of Swords. Let's delve into it. So this is you for the period October 25th to November 8th, or this should be you. Focused, driven, where you have power, will, and authority. You are driving the chariot. You are the master of all you survey. You still have that balance with the polarity of good versus evil, with the lions in front of you, male and female also. You can go any which way. There is inspiration, there is unity. The earth is there again, stable and grounded. You have the redemption, you have the moon both waning and waxing for you, which is the truth and victory or hope. So you are focused on your spiritual presence, you are focused on victory, you are focused on truth, and you are driving forward, notwithstanding that there is good and evil in front of you. This is your mental challenge for this period, and this is you driving that chariot. The Nine of Wands tells you that you are conflicted because of the good and evil in front of you. You are fearful, but yet you have the courage. The third house is there driving you with your courage. You have done the work, all the rods and the staffs are there behind you. You have a stable grounding, you have force of will, you have conviction and determination, but you are still not making that decision. You probably just holding on to take a rest. This is the conflict. Do I move forward, or do I stand up here defending what I already have? What is the choice you're going to make? What is your decision? Are you going to be isolated like Ketu and Venus in Scorpio? Or are you going to take your network and plan and move forward and be creative and have ideas and take that ideas to grow and develop? What are you going to do? Are you going to show some backbone? Are you going to show some persistence and stamina? Where is that hidden reserve or that strength that you have? That is the conflict. You probably think that, I don't need more. I just need to defend, or I need to take a rest here now. That is the conflict with you. Do I move on to grow more, or do I maintain and sustain that Lord Vishnu wants me to do? Because Lord Vishnu is there in Garuda to take you forward if you want to go forward. But Lord Vishnu is also there to give you a rest. Sit in that vehicle and maintain what you have. Take a rest. So these are the conflicts that you are going through right now, and Jupiter is the graha of the card, so that the intelligence and the expansion is there pushing you by the fourth aspect of Mars from Libra. But what are you going to do? You have the stable foundation. All those rods behind you give you that defensive wall, gives you that foundation. You have worked hard. You have turned the corner. Are you going to get up and fight for more? This is your conflict and challenge for this period. The Four of Swords tells you about your recent past, which was the root cause of your issue. And the Four of Swords tells you that, you were surrounded by the wolves, but your intelligence, where the sword was, you planted your intelligence and you kept them at bay. You lit a candle and you kept them at bay. You rested. You came to terms, you were self-protected, you prioritized, so that your conflicts and challenges in the present situation, you are standing up now, you are not lying down. So you have really taken a step. You have made a choice. You have not continued to lie down there and be fearful. And you have used your intelligence, you have used your courage to stand up now and face the conflict. You are a little weary, your head is bandaged in the Nine of Wands, but you are a little weary, but you have stood up. You have not continued to lay down and let everybody run over you, as we say. You have not just lain down and not looked around you. You have taken that step through the Nine of Wands to stand up and face the conflicts and the challenges that may come to you during this period. Here we have the next three cards of the Celtic Cross spread, which is the Empress, Justice, and Six of Cups. And these give you the distant past, the best outcome or your beliefs, and your immediate future. Let's delve into it again. The Empress is an indication of what drives you, what is still bugging you. Do you want to be the Empress, or do you want to be like the Empress? Is it power you seek? Do you want to be master of all you survey? Is it a relationship you are looking for? Because the Graha of the card here is Venus, and Venus is battling with Ketu right now in Scorpio. So what it is do you want? Is there abundance for you? Your distance past is telling you that you were that person, and you are still that person. But what it is that really bugs you? Is it love? Is it the abundance? Is it a stable home? The Empress tells you that you want to be a strong person who has everything, and it's still bugging you because you feel you don't have everything. And probably that's a conflict and challenge that you took yourself up from the Four of Swords from, in that you are now going to take that step forward to gain more because you think you deserve more. You have not been given what the universe owes you, so that you are taking that step forward as a strong woman, as the Empress. And your distant past is going to color your present and your future. Your belief in the best outcome for this period should be, again, justice. And here again we have Venus. And justice is balancing the scales. Justice has order and the vitality and courage, and justice tells you you're sitting on the seat of power, so that you believe that you are deserving of justice. While you may have been, not the best of the human beings or the citizens of your country, you believe you have done enough for justice to come your way. That is your belief, that justice, the sword of energy, the sword of success, will not be too severe on you, and that your spiritual guidance and your logic will bring you a clarity of thought that will bring justice to you. And the Graha of the card here again is Venus. So Venus is all about the good things in life. So probably, justice is giving you the good things in life and not taking them away anymore. And the element here is value, so it can go either which way. So how is justice going to deal with you? And that is your belief, that justice is going to deal with you, and justice is going to be your best outcome. The immediate future for you is reflected by the Six of Cups. And that Six of Cups is all about calm, contentment, harmony, protection, blessings, simple joys, openness, sharing, your emotional security, and is that your immediate future? Because remember, the veil of secrecy is going to be lifted a little bit by Jupiter through his fifth aspect on Rahu. So are you going to see that you should celebrate? Is it that your past, your childhood issues are coming to you that you should be celebrating through the Six of Cups? What is that illusion that is not going to be there? The veil of secrecy. In your isolation and meditation, are you going to see the truth? Is reality going to confront you that you are going to come calm and content? You have a sanctuary, a fortress. You are secured in your past. You are secured in your future. What is the reality for you based on your Kundali? This is your immediate future. The Six of Cups. Celebration. The World, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Nine of Swords are the next three cards that we are looking at. And these three cards represent self-perception, factors affecting you, the external environment, and your hopes and fears, what actions you should take. So let's move on. This is how you look at yourself, and in terms of you for this period, that you should have the world, or the world should be at your feet. Is it that it's moving too slow? Because the graha of the card here is Saturn, and you have the four elements of Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus, Leo, which is basically a reflection of the Wheel of Fortune, the energies. So it's a double whammy here, in that you have everything is there for you to grow and develop into. Transformation is coming, but it's going to be good. It's going to be stable. You are going to have intelligence, you are going to have protection, you are going to have power, you are going to have stability, you are going to have bravery and vigilance. So celebrate. Take that confidence and wisdom, and see yourself as somebody who is confident, who is wise, who is intelligent. Guru is there, Jupiter is there guiding you. He has turned direct for this period. He is there to support you and give you that expansion. The Ace of Pentacles in this reading tells you about what you need to know, and you need to know that the world is open to you. We have just dealt with the world, now we're dealing with the Ace of Pentacles, and it tells you that new gateways, opportunities. The graha of the card here is Venus, Mercury, and Saturn. So Venus is about all the good things in life. Mercury is about communication, it's about courage, it's about technology. Saturn is about hard work, old age, the masses, the elders in society that will guide you. The five elements are here: earth, fire, air, water, space. Blessings are given to you. That is what you need to know. You have worked hard and you are now going to get the reward. The circle of life is giving you, the investments. Because Pentacles is all about earth, all about resources. The archway is there, abundance, greenery. The blue mountains are there. They're not rough, they're smooth. You can pass this. The pathway is lighted, it's a clear path. So that you need to take that step forward, as you did with the Nine of Wands, and forgetting the Four of Swords, learning your lessons from the past, and take that Nine of Wands and move forward. You have gotten up, you have the defensive wall behind you. Push forward. Take the new gateways and opportunities that are opened to you. That is what the Nine of Wands, the Nine of Swords, speak to your hopes and fears. And we also had the Nine of Wands, so that that juxtaposition, which one is going to win out for you? The Nine of Wands, that tells you your conflicts and challenges. The Nine of Swords, that tells you your hopes and fears. And your hopes and fears, you have been beaten down, you have been given a raw deal on many occasions. Probably you have not been given justice in the past, so that your hopes and fears, it's all relying on this. You think that you may never have that luck or that fortune, that may never come your way. So that your Mercury graha of the card here is telling you you're a bit overwhelmed, you're a bit conflicted at a breaking point. You feel you can't cope, but at the end of the day, the third house, sorry, gives you that courage. It gives you that new pathway, because it's all about Saturn and working towards something, your discipline to gain productivity, so that you can't be at your wits end. And yes, you understand that it's hopes and fears, but compartmentalize it, stick it in a box and take it out to understand that you have lessons that you have learned, but you need to move forward now. The world is there, the Ace of Pentacles is there, Justice is there, Chariot is there, and the Empress is your pass, so that you have a lot of things going for you. Don't take away the hopes and fears, because you know that's how you feel. But at the end of the day, compartmentalize, put it in a box, and take it as a lesson learned. Okay, here we're wrapping up this reading for the period October 25th to November 8th. And at the end of the period, on November 8th, we see that we have some changes in that Mercury has moved across from Virgo to Libra to join Mars, the Ascendant, and Sun. Venus has moved away from Ketu to go and join Moon in Sagittarius. And Venus has passed the Gandanta point here, because that Gandanta point would last from the 26th of October to the 2nd of November, where, you know, you'd have to unravel that knot of Venus and the good things in life not really coming to you, and it has to be held back a little bit, because that Gandanta point has to be crossed between Scorpio and Sagittarius. And remember, the Gandanta point is when planets move from a water sign into a fiery sign. And we have those three Gandanta points, from Scorpio to Sagittarius, from Pisces to Aries, and from Cancer to Leo. So those are the three Gandanta points here within 3 degrees. So Venus has passed that point, so that at the end of the period, you know, we have a little relief. And Venus is in a neutral zodiac sign owned by Jupiter, and Moon is there also, so that we have that change. We also have Jupiter moving from Capricorn to Aquarius into an Aries sign, so that we get a little relief and expansion. But then Rahu is now no longer being aspected by Jupiter with the 5th aspect, so that the great deceiver has free reign to do what he wants. And this is what we have to be careful about in this period, in that our minds don't lead us astray, in that we think too much and have grandiose ideas, that we concoct strategies that we cannot execute, because Rahu doesn't have a body, he's only a head. So that is one of the changes there that we need to look at. We see that the change also in that we have Sun being the Atma Karaka now, and Rahu being the Amatya Karaka. So, you know, that has changed. Our soul's desire has changed from the beginning of the period. We are now looking at the Sun, which is, you know, ego, leadership, authority, power, wanting to be in the limelight, being in the forefront. But Rahu is saying, hold up, I am the Amatya Karaka. You can only gain those things through me. And Rahu is about illusion. So watch yourself. You know, Rahu is the great deceiver. So don't be too egotistic. Don't be too pushy, as we say. Take your time, boil down a little bit, be humble, listen and learn. Saturn is in Shravana Nakshatra, the air, or the star of the learning air. Understand that Garuda and Vishnu is pulling you out now from that nakshatra. Remember, we pulled Garuda, the vehicle or the carrier of Vishnu. So Vishnu wants you to maintain a balance. He wants to sustain you. He doesn't want to destroy you. You know, Lord Shiva is not there. It's Lord Vishnu. So understand that you need to maintain a balance. Don't be too arrogant, you know. Take your steps, develop yourself, learn from your past mistakes, but understand that all things could just be not what you are seeing. What you are seeing and what you are hearing may not be the truth. So take your time, behave like Saturn, slog away at it, one day at a time, 1 week at a time. Understand the limits that you need to have, that Saturn will impose on you, so that you can grow and develop. As always, I thank Bhagwan for bringing me to this point and to indicate to you that the knowledge shared here is not specific to you, since we do not know your Kundali. It is a general reading that gives you an idea of how the planets and the transit of the grahas can affect you, and I have aligned the tarot spread to give you that added detail as to how it can affect you. Being specific to you, you need to know your Kundali, and you could only know that if you request a report. But I thank you again for joining me, for signing up, for sharing, for subscribing. I hope that all is well with you, and I will see you next time. Bye.